I am... Oh, God. What was it again? I forgot.
I am the man of iron.
I am a human being what is made of some sort of metal.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Disaster Piece Publishing House. I'm Tony Stark.
And I'm Pepper Potts.
This is a show about the Wild West of weird internet media. Dramatic recreations included. Yeah, I guess.
We're doing more of our... We're just not really committing to a format in this show era. 2024 is going to be a rough one, so we're just going to have fun at the beginning.
Yeah, happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter.
If I decide to post this on Easter, I don't know, I'll think about it.
I don't even know when Easter is.
No, I never know when Easter is.
No one knows. You go like, oh, I guess that Peeps are for sale again.
Yeah.
And then they're out of stores, and you're like, I guess they went bad.
Yeah. Peeps, I think, are just always like 3 seconds away from being stale.
They get stale about 3 seconds in, but they have like that coating around that everyone likes to pretend is an on-purpose crunch, but really it's just horse bones drying.
Yeah. We watched the Church of the Rock Easter play called The Avenger. If you've never heard of this, the Church of the Rock is a church in Canada who puts on, they put on a production every Easter, and instead of just doing the way normal churches do, they'll do like recreations of pop culture stuff, and they've been doing this since 2008, where they started with a Star Trek version of the Easter story. They've done, oh God, what are some of the other ones they've done? I can't remember off the top of the head, but the one we watched was called The Avenger, which was a rip-off of The Avengers, where Tony Stark gets crucified. It's glorious.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. He doesn't even really... I mean, we'll get to... He doesn't really get crucified. His body is most of the cross.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
We were both, like, cheering when that happened, by the way. We were just like, yeah!
Oh my God. Okay, so... Rundown, TLDR, Church of the Rock. They're, like, a Canadian...
fundamentalist sort of church from... Oh, gosh, I don't remember where.
Canada.
But, yeah, their pastor is this just narcissistic, nerdy guy named Mark Hughes who unironically gave a sermon in cosplay as Captain Kirk. It's partially in character as well. I watched part of it. It was funny.
You know, we used to like fuck with hate preachers and stuff when we were in our teens for fun, and I would rather be around those guys than Mark Hughes.
Yeah.
He seems like a deeply unpleasant guy to be in the same room as.
Yeah, there's also just like hate preachers are kind of a thing in Tucson and in Arizona in general. There's a legacy of them from Brother Dean. They did a Vice article about him. There's Bro Jeb, who preaches at the U of A mall most of the time. He's actually the first person who ever gendered me correctly, funnily enough. Did I tell you this story?
Did we talk about it on the show?
No, we didn't.
The story.
Yeah. Basically, I went up to him because I felt like starting problems on purpose, and I was like, what do you think about trans people? And he looks at me and he goes, young man, you need to stop dressing like a lady. And I was just like, I agree. But yeah, no, so like, this kind of rhetoric is just shit we're familiar with, really. And it's funny to watch them be cringe while espousing it.
Here's the thing. I don't want to put these guys on the same level as, like, Bro Dean or Bro Jeff.
No, they're not.
They're not. They're the sort of, like, harmless sort of, like, okay, you can kind of put up with these guys if they're just in your church and, like, you have to go because you're family.
These were songs about Easter. Bro Dean's songs are usually about masturbating or something.
Yeah. Well, because here's the thing. There's, like... I don't care for it, of course. I'm a
robot bounty hunter.
So like I don't like I don't like church stuff.
Yeah. I don't either.
But there's definitely like a difference to be said about like these are just churches with a lot of money because they're they're the church of their like big city or whatever.
And they do these productions and it's a whole thing.
There's nothing wrong with it. I think that like church propaganda is a really fucking scummy, gross thing that is destroying the human will to exist. But there's nothing wrong with the church just doing, like, a show, like, an outreach thing, because it's a holiday, it's relevant, and they're all just kind of, like, media nerds who never got to actually make it to Hollywood.
So let's talk about the production, because
let's do just like a rundown of like the beat for beat plot, and then we'll dig into why it's awkward. Because if we just get hung up on how it didn't really make any sense without just like summarizing stuff beforehand, I think we'll get caught in the weeds a bit.
Yeah, summarizing is kind of what I meant, but it basically starts off and it's Natasha giving a monologue that doesn't really amount to anything. There's some banter between the heroes. Not all of the acting is great, obviously. It's got big community theater vibes. Everybody seems to be enjoying themselves. I think my favorite costume has to have been Captain Canuck.
Oh my god.
So they were all
we'll get to it. Like I said, we summarize and then we'll get into the weeds.
Okay.
We'll do like a brief little 5-minute, like, this is how the thing goes.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're just gonna be here forever and be like, oh my god, this weird thing. Oh my god, this weird thing. Oh my god, this awkward thing.
Okay. Do you want to do it then? Because you seem to have a better idea of what you want us to do.
Okay. So TLDR, at first you think it's just going to be a 1-for-1 Avengers parody thing, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's literally just it's a sloppy recreation of the Easter story where your familiarity with the Avengers, like, makes it more confusing because they also rely on you to just kind of know what the Avengers is about, and it creates this weird dissonance. So, starts out with, like, a support group, and they're all like, well, what do we do? We're all fucked up, right? We're all superheroes. We're inherently evil, fucked up people, right? What if we need Jesus or whatever, right? But I don't know what a Jesus is.
Well, no, it was a prayer support group.
Oh, it was a prayer support group.
Yeah, Iron Man said that later, that the Avengers is a prayer support group.
Because the feeling that I got was like they were like the apostles before Christ came along,
right?
And they're like faithless, and then Tony shows up and he's like, "What are you chuckle fucks doing in my in Stark Tower, I guess?"
Yeah.
Because that's how Tony enters the scene. He just shows up and he's like, "What are you fucking morons doing in my tower? And I'm Iron Man."
The effects on his gauntlets, so choice.
So he just shows up and he's like, "You guys are a bunch of friends, but you can hang out with me, I guess." Like, literally, he just, like, roasts them all and then moves on. And then, like,
Loki drops in, right?
Then Loki drops in without any setting change or anything. They all just kind of, like, mug and do bits, and then Loki shows up. And then Loki sings Call Me Maybe.
Yeah, but, like, his own rendition of it, it's like, call me Loki, I'm gonna, like, rule the world or whatever.
I'm from Asgard. My name is Loki. Yeah. It kind of fucking went hard, to be honest. It was like, it's like this, and then the girl who played Pepper Potts were the only funny, like good, like, performers.
Yeah. Well, no, you know, the guy who plays Loki, he has a good voice. He was just given bad songs.
Yeah. And he was not singing in his range a lot of the time. Anyway, so then Loki shows up, and then Batman and Robin and Superman leave. Because they're in the wrong universe or whatever.
Yeah, they do some bit about how they're DC, they're not even Marvel.
And then Pepper is like, "I fucking hate you, Iron Man. You fucking bum me out, dude. Fuck you. I'm gonna sing a song about it." And then she belts it out, and it's cool.
Yeah. The Avengers, it's not the complete team, by the way. They're missing a Hawkeye and a Hulk. Because they don't have the special effects for him. They just had one clip where his feet walk by, and that's about it. And then Hawkeye,
no, we're letting our boots get out there. We're booting all over the place.
Yeah, and Hawkeye, I made the joke that they cut him out because he was gay. Yeah. But I don't know why he wasn't there. I guess they just didn't have enough people.
Yeah. And then, then Pepper Potts does her song. Iron Man does a song.
Yeah.
And then...
Pepper Potts did a really good performance, by the way. Who else did...
and then they did Thunderstruck. It's like a jukebox musical, but, like, nothing is, like, really connective, right?
Yeah. Oh, and they did that one with Captain America with the song I didn't recognize. That was just... That one was, like, the worst, I think.
Yeah.
That one was the low point.
That's when him and Iron Man are beefing at the beginning.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then they do another funny bit. Literally, they do a funny bit. They're like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Loki. I'm gonna lip sync to I Got the Power and do a funny dance." And then they crucify Tony Stark.
Yeah, well, no, there was a scene with Nick Fury in it, remember?
Oh, yeah. Nick Fury shows up and he's just a little boy.
Yeah, he's like 14.
Because let's be honest, he's the only black person in the congregation.
Yeah. Yeah, I have like they would have cast an adult because the rest of them are adults. Like they would have cast an adult if they had one. They did not.
They didn't. Yeah. Not to shit on this kid. I'm not saying like Token Kid. Like Kid brought the thunder. He was truly excited to be there.
Yeah, he was excited. Yeah,
but you got the feeling where it's like, oh, this is a problem every church production runs into eventually, where it's like, we're doing a pop culture media thing. Yeah. Uh-oh, there's a black guy. Who do we get for the black guy? There aren't very many of those around here.
Yeah. Woof.
How do we break the news to the one black guy that we need him to play the one black guy?
Well, it probably wasn't hard. This kid looked excited to be on stage.
I mean, it's easier. You're like, hey, kid, you want to play Nick Fury? And everyone's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a kid, but like, I bet you they're like, we can't talk to an adult about this.
Yeah, no.
We feel guilty about it.
So, Iron Man gets crucified. Yeah, but it's not even like a full cross. It's just like a steel beam, they kind of put a harness on him, and they pull him up into the air a little bit.
Yeah, it's not even a steel beam shaped like a cross. It is just a single steel beam, and he just kind of hangs limply.
Yeah,
and we'll get to why that's so funny later.
Yeah, so then Pepper Potts sings a song, and then he gets resurrected, but he's just kind of on the ground, and then he gets up.
Yeah, he gets knocked down, but he gets up again. You're never going to keep him down.
Oh, yeah. That's the song.
And so he literally, there's no fanfare or anything. It's just like, Pepper Potts is there for 3 days, like the Bible or whatever.
Yeah,
and then the Avengers show up and like he's on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, they had a Last Supper.
They had the last shawarma. Oh
yeah, the last shawarma.
Yeah.
It was
fucking gay.
I know, and it was so funny. It's like in the movie, it was suggested by Iron Man they go get shawarma. That much I remember. And then, but this time it was like Captain Canuck, and he's like, "Let's go get shawarma," and like Iron Man was the only one who didn't go. And then he started, like, accusing some of them of being Loki in disguise, but then that wasn't true, because Loki comes in.
Yeah. And then that's what he does. It's funny. I got the power.
Yeah.
And then he crucifies
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
I am Iron Man. He said that a lot.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
We'll get to
it. We need to get through this. We're almost at the end, and then we can just...
I mean, there's
so much weirdness.
I don't... Like, the ending was so unmemorable that I just kind of don't remember how it goes.
It's literally just like, oh, Iron Man's fine, and then Loki shows back up, and they all do a group dance number, and then...
Yeah. And didn't they have a fight scene, too?
There was like a blackout fight scene.
Yeah, so they didn't actually want to choreograph a fight scene, and so what they did is they just had the actors move into different poses while the lights were off, and then freeze when the lights were on. That was a part of it, too. I think that was after he got
that was before he got resurrected.
That was before, right.
They do fight, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's after Thunderstruck, because there's the guy in... We'll get to that. Okay. But then it just ends with a dance number, and then they plug the other church services.
Yeah, and Loki fucks off.
And then they do a sermon, and Dev, who is big-brained and smarter than me, was like, I don't want to watch this. And I'm like, we'll put it at 1.25 speed. We'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I think it's kind of unfair, even as a church hater, to take the cheesy thing that they just did for fun and roast it without genuinely trying to let them talk about the spiritual message behind it in the sermon.
But the guy was just a total narcissist.
He didn't do anything except talk about how he was a fucking genius who is smarter than everybody and better than everybody because he liked comic books.
Yeah, but he started it off with like, I had trouble reading, I couldn't read, and then he's like, it's a surprise that I'm such a genius now. Like, yeah. It was weird. And he started, like, talking about how, like, Joss Whedon is secretly Christian or something.
Josh Whedon.
Yeah, he said it as Josh Whedon. Yeah.
Why would you include... He said, I will build a temple right here. Why do you think he did that? I'm like, I don't know. He was the villain, and he's an atheist, so he probably made the villain say some Christian stuff.
Oh, and he clung to that one line from the Avengers of Captain America saying, like, there's only one God, ma'am, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that, which kind of bums me out, because I actually, like, kind of like that line just from a writer perspective.
I thought it was, like, a really good way to be like, hey, we have underpinned a lot of what is... you just kind of take for granted is religious values in this guy and didn't have him beat you over the head with it. You just kind of know. And that is an acknowledgement of it that felt really cool and good. In a sea of really cheesy, ham-fisted Christian writing, it was cool to see a character that, like, is good.
Yeah.
I like it when characters are informed by their religion and their backstories and all.
Yeah. It just, it really grounded him in being like but that's the Avengers movie. We're talking about the Avenger.
I just want to say, like, because I think it's important to tell the difference of how, like, they had this opportunity to actually fucking connect with the source material in a way that is cool, but, like, instead they were just kind of retrofitting sound bites and the memorable stuff from pop culture.
Yeah.
To retrofit their weird religious, like, corrections.
Yeah, well, the messaging about Loki being a comparison to Satan was there from the beginning when Iron Man says, "Get thee behind me" to him.
Yeah, no, I know that. Like, the entire time, it just feels like you guys are just really divorced from the source material, both in the Bible and the Avengers, and you're just kind of, like, mishmashing it together.
Yeah.
Because you have a very specific cultural perspective you're trying to reinforce.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to course correct a little bit. We're going to have you have these associations with this actually be with our cultural values and not this thing. And that's what I had a beef with. And that's when I started to be like, no, I don't feel bad about making fun of this stuff. Because I think them including the kid in there, I don't know, maybe it's just me who was like a creative kid who, in retrospect, noticed that my mom noticed more than me that other people were trying to get me into the church, and she didn't fucking like that and got me out of it. But to me, there's something really insidious about, like, taking a random little kid from your congregation who really likes superheroes and then going like, hey, be a part of our live stream. Yeah. To have everyone think about the thing that you like, but the way we like it. For religion. That's fucking gross to me. And it's also really insulting to the people in your community to just, like, intercept them at a young age when they're just excited about everything and get them into this lame shit. Because everyone there is so fucking untalented, except for Pepper Potts.
Yeah, she's good.
They all just want attention, and they just want to be creative, and they can't, because they're
remember,
a fucking church.
Yeah, when she did her musical number, we were both just like, oh, this rules, and you said, like, she is serving cunt, and I'm like, that's so fucking true.
She is. She
was too talented for that production.
Yeah, I think Jenny Nicholson said that in her coverage of this video, she did a little bit of digging and found that, like, she was more than likely someone who was a part of the choir.
Oh, yeah.
And she really felt like the only person on stage who had, like, stage presence, like some sort of theater background. You know, she wasn't really looking at the teleprompter. At the very least, it would be times when, like, she was just catching her line when someone else was talking where it'd be naturalistic to look away. She had, like, presence, whereas everybody else was just, like, kind of mugging to the camera and doing, like, their shitty impression that they would have done at a party, you know?
I am Iron Man.
He said that 8 times we counted.
Yeah, we kind of lost count after a while. He had this one same pose that he would do every time, which was the Superman pose, where you put your hands on your hips and you look off into the distance.
Yeah.
You know, because he's the Man of Iron, and that's, I don't know, that's his gimmick now.
Yeah. So, you had some things you thought were really fucking funny, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of forgot what they were, because we got off track. What was it?
The effects when Iron Man comes in?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously they didn't have any, like, VFX. They didn't even have good costumes. They were just morph suits that were painted, like, fucking whatever. But when Iron Man comes in, they lower him on a harness, and they have a screen in the back that's, like, playing a video of what should be the jet streams coming off of his gauntlets, and they're misaligned. So it's like the jet streams are, like, coming from above his hands, and they don't move down with him.
It's so good.
It's so choice.
The best part about that, too, is that, like, he forgets he's on a harness, and he starts to, like, walk to his next line.
Yeah.
And Pepper has to, like, undo it. And
yeah.
Oh, my God. It's so good. It's so funny.
Captain Canuck was great, too, because this is in Canada. They don't want Captain America there.
Oh, my God, that's right. Yeah, this bit.
Yeah. So all these costumes were just, like, fucking Party City, dollar store, whatever, morph suits. But they just bought a Captain America costume, and then where the star is, they painted a red maple leaf over it, like, for the Canada flag, and it didn't, the stencil they got for the maple leaf wasn't big enough, so it didn't cover up the star all the way.
It looked, because that would be funnier. What it looked like to me, like they got, like, a cloth cutout and then didn't measure it properly and then, like, sewed it in, because, like, you can see the parts where the maple leaf is sewn directly to the star bit, and it, like, has a little 3D protrusion, and, like, it catches a shadow just enough that, like, you notice it.
Yeah,
it's, like, so distracting.
Must have been some lady in the congregation who's like, I can do it. But yeah, no, that was Captain Canuck was great.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like one of the worst actors in the cast.
But like to me, that was funny to see like a Canadian guy do an over the top Canadian voice for
yeah,
Chief. It was him and Pepper Potts are the only two people that I'm like, I like watching you even if you're cringe.
Yeah.
I just wanted to punch Iron Man in the face the whole time.
Yeah, he wasn't great.
He was trying to go for Tony Stark, and he just ended up looking like a perverted magician.
When he was up on the steel beam when he was crucified, and he was like trying so hard not to shit his pants.
He shit himself, that's right.
Yeah, his face looked so strained. It became increasingly more strained as time went on.
Because, we make jokes like, oh, it's not just that he looked like he was straining. Here's something that people don't tell you about when you are hanging limp off of something. And you don't realize that you have stuff in your bowels. That specifically is something that starts to loosen up, and you have to be it becomes a muscle you have to compensate for.
Yeah, because gravity's taking its toll, so you have to, like, clench your butt cheeks to try and hold it in.
You could see him gradually.
Yeah.
I think the joke that I said was like, okay, you think in rehearsals, they were just like, all right, Pepper, all you have to do is sing. We don't have to practice me being hung.
Yeah.
Because, like, we don't have to do that. We'll just do it when we do the show. And, like, as that was happening, he just thought it was going to be no big deal. And you could see him sort of like...
It probably didn't help that it was slightly unaligned when they pulled him up, so he was, like, swinging a little bit.
Yeah, he kept swinging just in and out of frame.
Yeah, while Pepper was singing.
Oh my god, that was another thing that I noticed was, the girl who played Natasha, like, didn't know what to do with herself and was always, like, overacting and, like, wiggling and doing some sort of, like, bad, like, extra type campy action.
Yeah.
And the cameraman kept, like, having to, like, nudge her out of frame because it was really distracting.
Yeah.
And she was doing that stuff when clearly no one was looking at her.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so funny.
Oh man, what are some other moments where we cracked up? Oh, there was that part where Thor hits Loki's like his horns. One of his horns just pops off.
Yeah, that was another moment where they got two genuine laughs out of me.
Yeah,
and that was because they were just like good physical gags, right?
Yeah, there was another one where somebody got punched, right?
Yeah.
At the beginning, that one cracked me up.
Yeah, because physical violence is funny, but like when.
No joke will ever be funnier than Man Fall Down. It will always be a good joke.
Just because I wasn't expecting it when Loki comes in, like right before crucifying Iron Man.
Yeah.
They start playing I Got the Power, and he like turns into the camera and like really exaggeratedly.
Yeah.
Very on sync, by the way. Like very good in time compared to like everyone else.
Yeah.
Just go like lip syncs I Got the Power when it comes up, and the comedic timing on it is perfect. And it got a genuine laugh out of me.
Oh yeah, and when he was in the background of the final number, he was doing Fortnite dances.
Yeah, that's right. Loki started flossing.
He started flossing. Because this is 2018.
He's in the background and off to the left.
Yeah, Fortnite dances.
He was just Fortnite. He was killing it.
Yeah.
He was killing it.
No, it was funny.
The guy who played Spencer. Loki might have had a Richard Spencer haircut, but
he did absolutely have a Richard Spencer haircut. Yeah, that was something I noticed but didn't say it, and then Joan said it, and I was like, I'm glad I wasn't the only one thinking it.
Don't worry, I'm the one who says all the stuff you should keep in your head. Okay. And I will accept the consequences for it.
That's not true. I'm the one who said that was the only black kid in the congregation.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's me.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good thing to point out.
Yeah, I guess so. Because it's probably true, unfortunately.
It's just the fact that it's a little boy, where you're just like...
Yeah, and he was reading off a teleprompter too, which is great.
He was fucking bringing it though. He was really excited to be there. He did really good for being him. you could tell that, like, he liked the Avengers a lot.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't want us saying this to, like, come off as, like, and this kid was yada, yada, yada. No, this kid rules. It's just obvious that, like, communities like this don't really have very many people of color in them. They had to get a kid.
Yeah. Oh, and then the worst part of the play was when the pastor shows up dressed as what's supposed to be Odin, but he's also Mario, and he's supposed to talk like Mario, but he can't even do the accent right, so he just sounds southern. He
switches his accent like every 4 seconds.
Yeah. He looked like somebody put Mario through the dryer. It was pretty bad, and he started talking to Iron Man as if he was
literally God.
Yeah.
Because he was Odin, and in the metaphor... Because here's where it gets weird. Because sometimes it's like, oh, you know this from the Marvel movies. But sometimes... And they take it at face value. And you're supposed to, like, get that it's just like the movie. But other times, they, like, do that, but then they change it to be about Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where it's like, okay, it's totally fine for the pastor to dress up as Odin, who, in Norse mythology, is not literally God, right? There's like a pantheon, and he's representative of a cultural value that they hold. But in the play, because Loki is Satan, bad guy, and Odin is good guy, he's literally God. So this pastor is going, I am literally God.
Yeah.
And also I'm Super Mario.
With a bad accent. Yeah. I don't know. Somebody who's maybe a little more Italian than I am might say that's a hate crime against Italians.
I think you're just Italian enough to make the call.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That was a hate crime against Italians.
But was it a funny hate crime against Italians?
It was very funny.
Then I think it's worth it.
Anyway.
I think now's a good time to take a break, and when we come back, we can do our making fun of this guy's sermon section of this, if you want.
Okay, sure.
Cool.
If you want.
Good time to take a break. Alright, Deb, you know what? We took a little bit of a break and realized that we kind of already said everything we have to say about
the sermon
part. It just sucks and is bad and makes no sense. It's fine.
And we're moving on to a far better idea.
Yeah, I think we were going through and looking at all the Church of the Rock plays, and, a lot of these don't really have a great messianic figure in there.
Because Iron Man isn't really a good messiah figure in general.
He isn't.
Aside from, like, the thing where he brings the missile up through the portal, whatever, which is sort of like a sacrifice. It's definitely not the same, and he's not a Jesus character by any measure.
Yeah. That's more of a hero's journey thing than a Christ-like thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that you and I were just tired of going through the Western canon for where a good Christ-like figure might be. I mean, one of the things that people don't talk about enough is the fact that Japan has a lot of Christian influence. Ultraman... Famously, creator of Ultraman was a devout Christian who worked a lot of Christian themes into it. And that got us to thinking that Yu-Gi-Oh! Might actually be a better vehicle to tell the Jesus story.
Yeah, so we're going to combine both our creative powers and the fact that, at least I don't know about you, was super autistic about Yu-Gi-Oh! For a long time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Different levels and in different aspects, but our powers combined.
Yeah, I could give a whole thesis on why Yu-Gi-Oh! Is good, actually. But the important thing is that Yami, or Yugi, whichever one, is a great Christ figure.
Oh, yeah. He's even
Which is interesting, because
like Jesus was. Nobody talks about that. The Shroud of Turin, it's like a fucking baby towel. Dude.
I think it's very especially funny to me that he's such a Christ-like figure now, because in the original manga he was like essentially a devil character. He's an old Scratch type of character, but that's a story for another time. So,
and then in the reboot he realized that Yugi is such a pure cinnamon roll that being around this kid enough would turn that guy into a nice guy.
Yeah.
That's like the thesis of real Yu-Gi-Oh!
Turned this pharaoh into a good dude.
Yeah.
A okay guy.
I regret having slaves. Thank you, Yugi.
So, I think also the tie-in with Egyptian stuff is kind of perfect tie-in with, because of like the Old Testament and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, of course, that's where we start, you know?
Yeah.
We start with Exodus.
Yeah. So
we see the Pharaoh, right?
Yeah.
And we see, like, literally the Pharaoh from Yu-Gi-Oh! And his firstborn son is dying from the biblical plague. And he curses God's name and yada, yada, yada. You see Kaiba's not the sorcerer or whatever. He's like the priest.
Yeah, priestess.
He's like a Jesus priest in Egypt for some reason. Like, that's where the anachronisms start. Church of the Rock, by the way, I forgot to say, 100% you can have this. We're pitching this to you.
Yeah.
Takahashi's dead. I don't think that he's going to come after you.
Yeah.
Not if you're willing to roll the bones on whether or not Disney is going to come for your fucking throat, I think that this one is just go for it. Why not?
Then again, Konami owns most of the rights, so
oh, that's true.
They're a little litigious because they stole it from Takahashi. That's
true.
Another story.
True.
So if we're following kind of the same structure of the play, you know, Yugi has to meet his apostles, right?
And it's perfect because they just bully him and they feel bad about it, and now they're bros. Yeah.
So
we do that hard cut to present time where Yugi is he's playing his favorite game, Jesusmon cards. That's another thing that they'll get wrong. They'll like have them play like a Pokemon analogous thing.
Yeah.
Because they think it's all the same thing in their head. It's all Chinese cartoons.
I don't know. I feel like they would replace the card, like if you wanted to put more thought in it, you could have like angels be the monsters and things like that, stuff from Christian mysticism. If you really wanted to, or saints.
There's the implication. We're not gonna go and like remake the rules of Yu-Gi-Oh and make specific monsters. If they come up, they'll come up. But like, just suspend that in your disbelief or whatever that they're playing Jesusmon. But it's explicitly called Jesusmon.
Yeah,
for some reason.
So Saint Joey and Saint Tristan and Saint Taya. It starts out they're bullying Yugi, but they become his apostles. Or do we want to go with the Japanese? We could go with the Japanese.
No. It has to
be. But
they
they wouldn't. Yeah,
they wouldn't.
Yeah. So Saint Joey becomes, I don't know, his disciple or whatever, and then
hey, I'm Saint Joseph over here. Just kidding. You can call me Joey.
Kaiba. So Kaiba's going to be the Judas character.
Kaiba's
right?
Judas.
Yeah, I feel like he should be. No, I feel like he should be Satan, and Bakura should be the Judas, because Bakura changes personalities, right? He's got the sweet one.
Okay, he can be. That's right, because they did do the thing in the Loki play where Loki was both Judas and the devil, so I think that works. Yeah.
Yeah. So Kaiba,
Kaiba's more of his Paul, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh man, the shippers are gonna have a field day with that.
Yeah. So he's a disciple. He's just a particularly difficult one, I guess. Mm-hmm. And so there's got to be a Last Supper, right? Is that like the last duel, or
yeah?
Like...
But we'll get there.
Okay,
we gotta put some stuff in place. So the way I'm thinking is that Kaiba shows up on scene and he's all like, I don't need your faith. I have money, and money can buy you all the earthly pleasures in the world.
They could adapt like a different, like a Jesus parable for that, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm memeing here, but I'm genuine when I'm saying like we can do justice to both Yu-Gi-Oh being adapted into a play and Christianity. We're going to be more fucking respectful to Christianity than these people are.
Yeah, so there has to be a jukebox musical number at this point, right?
Yeah.
When Kaiba comes in, he's got to do his...
Oh my god, he's going to be doing Money, Money, Money by ABBA.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like Poker Face by Lady Gaga would be a good one, too.
Can't read my, no, he can't read my poker face.
Oh, wait, no, Little Karibo already did that. Never mind, forget I said that.
Pot of greed, I'm gonna draw 3 cards.
What's it do? Anyway, so...
Pot of greed, what's that do?
So we have... God, it would be so funny to get Jade and Yuki in there, but that's more characters than we need. So we...
He can be Pontius Pilate. Like when Yugi gets crucified, He's the one showing up.
Who's the protagonist? Yusei from 5Ds. So the three people on the cross, there's Yugi in the center, and then Jaden and Yusei on the right.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna say that Yusuke just went up and like jabbed Yugi's ribs with his hair. Okay, yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay, so Kaiba sings "Money, Money, Money" by ABBA.
He gets absolutely fucking creamed because, much like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7, he draws all 5 sacred pieces of Jesus' body.
No. He draws 3 cards: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Well, because I'm imagining it's like Exodia, but it's like all the pieces of Jesus.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you summon Jesus to the battlefield, you immediately win Jesus Mon.
Yeah. So you get the top, the bottom, left, and right of the cross, and then you get Jesus.
Jesus, like, right in the center.
Yeah. So that's So
Kaiba's money gets destroyed, absolutely bodied by the absolute faith of Christ.
And then Kaiba, you know that, like, gif of where he's, like, in like that, but it's the light of God shining down on him, he gets converted.
Yeah, you can have a little scene beforehand of him being, like, bad to Mokuba, and then, like, just completely dissonant from the rest of it. Now they're, like, best brothers.
How the fuck did we forget about Pegasus?
We're gonna get there.
Oh, okay.
Pegasus doesn't come until later. We have to get there. Pegasus is PPP. He's Pegasus Pontius Pilate. That's his full name.
Okay. I don't know what that's a reference to.
It's a reference to Jesus.
Okay, all right.
No, Pontius Pilate is the Roman governor who.
Oh, Pontius. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry,
just every iteration of his name in every American church I've gone, it's called a Pontius.
So
Pegasus Pilate.
So where do we go from here? Kaiba's been destroyed by the crucifix.
And now him and Yugi are going around, and his crew are going around and spreading 2 good Jesus Mon strats. Yeah. And this is when Kaiba, who is Pontius Pilate, in the
Pegasus, you mean?
Pegasus, yes. I said Kaiba again, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
Every character in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a villain. It's kind of hard to keep track of him sometimes.
Yeah, they're all trash men, that's why I love it.
Yeah.
So he shows, Pegasus Pontius Pilate shows up, and I forget what the Roman Emperor's role in this story is.
He's just like, I don't like this kid. I'm gonna invite him to my island to beat him at my own game.
Yeah.
And he can be like, he just shows up and he like just beats Yugi at a duel, and then as he's losing, Toon Blue Eyes White Dragon nails him to a Toon Cross. Well, we haven't been doing the jukebox musical elements.
No. Maybe finally he like sends, instead of sending Pegasus to the Shadow Realm, he sends him to Hell through like Toon World or whatever. So Pegasus has to have a song, and it should be pretty gay because it's Pegasus.
Yeah.
So like, what's a good like? Oh, what if it
was Judas by Lady Gaga?
No, Baccarat has to have that one.
Yeah, Baccarat sings Judas by Lady Gaga as he he reveals he's evil and sold him out to Pegasus.
Yeah.
That'll be it. Like he told Pegasus what was in his deck, and Pegasus like counters him hard.
Maybe Pegasus does like Cult of Dionysus or something like. Because he's supposed.
I don't know. I don't think that would jive with the church's sensibilities. It's too like on the nose about like the hedonism angle.
Well, they would change the lyrics, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they would change the lyrics to be like hedonism's bad, actually. So he gets beaten. Maybe Yugi wins the tournament, and he gets like a celebration banquet, and that's our last supper.
Yeah, that's our last supper, and that's when Bakura literally crucifies him.
Yeah, Baccarat.
Just unrelated. He shows up and is like, I'm Judas, baby, and then he crucifies him.
Yeah, sings Judas by Lady Gaga as he's crucifying Yugi. And
of course, that's mashed in with Yugi singing Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. Again, lyrics change to be about how Christ is cool, actually.
Yeah. So what does he sing when he's risen?
What he sings when he's risen is the Season 0 theme song. Kawaii Tasakebi.
Never heard it.
It's the in Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. It's like that thing that Kawaii Tasakebi.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That's the opening to Season 0.
Yeah. And then the opening music to this play would not be the opener for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because that song slaps too much.
It's time to
devote yourself to Christ. So
that can be it. He gets resurrected and he's Yami now.
Yeah, he gets resurrected. He's Yami, and it's he gets up off the ground, and everybody goes silent. And he goes, "It's time to." What we just said.
Do the thing.
Yeah.
And then Bakura joins in for the dance number at the end.
It's time to resurrect. So.
And then they sing "I Will Survive."
Yeah, I will survive.
So go now, go. Walk out the door.
And then
Bakura, we don't want you around here anymore.
So they take somehow take the Millennium Ring away from Bakura, I think. What was the song I had in my head? I just had a song.
Oh yeah, he's got the Millennium Rosary. We forgot to say that earlier.
Yeah, the Millennium Rosary.
Yeah. And it's because it's Millennium, like, it's important.
Wait, does Bakura have the Millennium Rosary, or does Yugi?
No, Yugi has the Millennium Rosary.
Yugi has it.
Everyone else, their Millennium items are evil because they're idols and they must be destroyed.
Yeah. No. When he resurrects, he should sing "Living on a Prayer."
I think they did that. I think they did the...
They've probably done it at some point.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That would be a better final number, actually, I feel like. Because, now everybody's been converted and the evil's been excised from Bakura.
What if it's what they sing when Pegasus kidnaps Grandpa?
Who's Grandpa? What part of the story is he? Or is he just there?
He's just there. He's like, "Oh, Yugi, I am so glad that you like Christ. Oh no, I'm being kidnapped by the gay man."
The Yugi's grandpa is the part where the pastor comes in.
Yeah. Yugi, yeah.
While Yugi's on the cross and there's a shift in scene and the pastor comes in dressed as Yugi's grandpa.
Yugi, I am so good at Jesusmon cards.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid playing all those Jesusmon cards.
Yeah.
I am so hip. Just like you kids.
Oh, man.
Anyway, Christ is the answer, Yugi. Time to go back to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah. Gosh, what else? I mean, I feel like that's the end, right? We've done a musical number.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, then they plug at the end how they have
offering baskets everywhere in the congregation.
There are offering baskets. They do card night for the little ones Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6:30, 5:30.
Yeah.
Make sure not to miss it. Man, this sucks. I hate these types of things. I'm glad we made fun of it a little.
Yeah. What was it? I felt like I had stuff to say, but I can't remember what it was. So, I mean, thanks as always to Aria for the theme music for this show. We're sorry it's associated with this. There's a link to her card below. You can check out the stuff that she's been doing.
Nothing but cool stuff, by the way.
Yeah. I'd like to thank Alex K. and Christina Bone for subscribing to me on Patreon. If you want early access to episodes as well as bonus content such as a live brainstorming session we did for the Jeff the Killer episode, as well as the blooper reel for 2023, which just went up, check it out. It's $5 a month. We'll get you pretty much everything. And then, there's links to our link trees down below for any of the other stuff we've been doing.
I'm unfortunately back on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm back on Twitter. You can follow me there.
Yeah, there's also
there's
a link to my webcomic as well, Devil Went Down to Vegas. It's about a demon who gets fired from his job in hell and moves to Las Vegas. It's a fun story. Please read it. Please support, the other stuff that we've been doing. And I think that's about it.
Yep. I want to thank Jesus Christ, the one Lord and Savior, the real G.
Yeah. What if Merrick is Joseph Smith?
I will form my own religion.
And then his family could be Brigham Young and
Would that mean that they're white before they do all the sinning, and then that's why they're Egyptian?
They're white, but they're Americans because remember Jesus went on a sailboat.
That's right, and then they do the evil and are cursed to be Egyptian.
Oh God!
I don't think that's okay. That's just what Mormons believe.
Yeah.
Teaser.
All right. See you, Space Iron Man.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
I am Space Iron Man.
I am Space Iron Man.